Let's start at the beginning, shall we? This is the 10 of Cups. And, the tens are endings of things. So this does feel like kind of rejoicing with the family. We're coming up to the holiday season, so it does look like putting down some of the, worries and frets and just enjoying your family during this season a little bit. So it does look like that is in the works. So that's great. What crosses you is the Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles are earth signs. This could be a Capricorn, a Taurus, or a Virgo. It does feel like a person. It may or may not be in a male body. I don't usually go on just the gender of the cards, but this does feel like there's an earth sign. It may be a family member that you may not be looking forward to hanging out with, but it does look like that is a little bit of a challenge for you. So breathe in and out, find the good in the situation. It's only one day a year. But it does look like there may be somebody that you are gathering for the holidays or a celebration of some kind that may rub you the wrong way a little bit. It doesn't look like it's really going to stand in the way of your happiness. It just is a challenge. The High Priestess is at the top here, so it does look like you're opening and expanding your awareness on a spiritual level, and that may be, learning to throw tarot, reading a self-help book, going back to church, but it does look like you are much more open and looking at the big picture of life, that everything happens for a reason, and kind of trusting a little bit more. It feels like you've reignited your faith a little bit more. It's not so much on the physical level of things that you have an understanding and an acceptance. It feels like for the way things have been and how much you have learned. So it does look like you are getting more and more in touch with your own intuition, listening to the God of your heart, and looking at the world more from a spiritual bent than a physical form. What is in your immediate past here is the Six. It is the Six of Pentacles. Pentacles are the earth-bound things. This does feel like it has to do with money. You may ran across a couple of bills that you forgot, but it does feel like there's more money going out right now than as may be coming in, which is kind of the plight of most of us. But it does feel like you are helping someone, and so be aware with your generosity. I know, Gemini, you're extremely generous sign, so make sure they deserve it. These equal and the balance here, the justice here, make sure that they are worthy. And if they are able to help themselves, then pull back a little bit and allow them to fall a little to pick themselves up. But it does look like you are helping out people, but it also feels like there may be some unexpected bills. It is the holiday time too, so that's always a little bit more drain on us financially if you are into the gift giving. So it does look like it will balance out. But just be discerning as you're gifting, whether this person deserves it or they just feel entitled. Gemini, you have a great way of discerning with your intellect. So Temperance is here. This is finding the balance within. It's also, don't be so hard on yourself is what's coming to me. It's that sometimes you're very, very hard on yourself and your expectations may be not in line what you're actually able and capable to achieve in the amount of time that you have given yourself. So lighten up a little bit on yourself and do what you can do, but find the balance between work, between your own personal life and your home life. So it does look like that has been a little bit out of balance and you may be kicking yourself a little bit. So if it's time to come out of your job, not do so much overtime and give yourself a little break, but lower your expectations for yourself because it does feel like you beat yourself up a little bit. So don't be so hard on yourself. Temper that judgment on yourself. The Knight of Cups is here, and cups are about emotions and love and your love space. This does feel like a situation more than it is a person. If it is a person for you, that will be a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. But for the most part, it feels like opening your heart, being loving. And usually the nights are about motion. So you may need to put some motion behind those passions that you've wanted to do. Are you an artist? Are you a writer? Are you something creative? Is there a creative endeavor for you that you're kind of ignoring that will give you some joy? This is what it feels like, that you may be taking a class in artistry or writing or something like that. But it does feel like embracing what your passion is, not so much the have-tos and the everyday things, but to this cup is telling me too, it is about self-love as well, and put some motion behind some of those great ideas. And don't be afraid to create that special space for yourself for some self-love. Instead of gifting everybody all of your energies, it's time to give to yourself. It will also help you with your temperance and your balance as well, if you are able to express your joys and your passions through either a medium or a pleasure, whether it's dancing, walking, whatever it is. But it's time to kind of enact some of your passions and the things that you love to do, instead of just the have-tos. The basis of all this is the 2. This is the 2 of Pentacles, and this is also a finding balance card, but it is upside down. So you may feel a little out of kilter, and it may have to do with the holiday seasons, just running around doing the have-to things. But it does feel like your world is a tad out of balance, and that you have been healing yourself, upside down. It does feel like you may have been thrown for a loop a little bit. It does feel like you are getting back in balance, but for a while you've been kind of wondering, floundering a little bit, and it may be going towards the unknown. This feels a little bit more like it's work than it is your home life. So it does feel like there may be some things that are topsy-turvy at the company you work at the position that you work at. So it feels like some changes are just kind of hanging in the balance, and no decisions have been made yet. So you're kind of waiting to hear before you make a move, before you make some changes. But it looks like this piece of the puzzle has to be in place for you to see what your next step is. And it does feel like it is on the work level. So there may be a reorg happening, or some layoff, something like that. But it does feel like you're a little out of balance until you get the information that you need. Justice is here. It is right next to this card. So whatever issue has been plaguing you, it does feel, justice is when a wrong has been righted. It is underneath the heartbreak. So this could have been maybe a friend that betrayed you in some way, a partner, a husband, wife, a job, something like that. But things are coming back into balance, and the Justice card is right here along the present line. So it does look like either an apology, a raise, something will be put back into balance. And sometimes the Justice card is here to remind us, is there any legal things that are out of date, or something that you forgot, a ticket to pay? Do you have a court date coming up, something like that? So justice can stand for the legal profession or something happening in the legal fields. It is above the heartbreak. So for many of you, it may be a divorce that is being finalized, or something that is being finalized. But it does feel like this justice is right underneath this betrayal card, this heart betrayal. So it could be a divorce, it could be someone passed away, and things are being resolved legally is what it feels like. But this heart betrayal, it can be someone who has passed over, or an affair, or gossip. It does not, there is no other like lovers or anything here, so it doesn't necessarily feel like it is an affair. But whatever this was, it kind of hit you upside the head. Your heart took a real big hit, and you're kind of still reeling. There is a lot of the orange cards here, the orange here, so it does feel like you are starting to heal that part of you. The Hangman is here, so whatever this was, whatever betrayal was, it really threw you for a loop, but it did force you to look at things completely differently than you do, that you have previously, that you have in the past. So you may have let go, maybe an addiction, or just a behavior that wasn't working for you, or a relationship, or redoing friends. But the hangman, and it's in the culmination part, so that the hangman, the best way for me to describe the hangman is if like you're playing checkers or chess, and you are, say you're the black men, and halfway through the game they turn that board around and you are the white or red men, and it's the same game but it looks completely different. So this aha moment kind of facilitated that change of vision in life, and how you look at things, how you react to things. It does look like things have calmed down for you, and you have figured out a way to make life a little easier for yourself, and you don't take on as much of other people's things as you used to. The Ace of Swords here, this is intellect, this is higher learning, it's also aha moments. So it does look like it's right next to the hangman. So it does look like that aha moment was huge and it shifted everything. So it may have shifted your job, your home, your friends, your love space. But whatever it is, you're kind of still reeling from it and trying to figure out your next step. So with the Ace of Swords too, be very careful that your words are clear and respectful and not cutting. So it does look like some communication is in order to complete this transformation. The Magician is here on the other side, and that's really like getting in touch with your own magic, getting in touch with your karmic purpose, and, you know, what are we here for? What are we doing, kind of thing. So it does look like you're collecting answers. You are much more connected to the God of your heart, or the spirit of your heart. And looking at the big picture, you have a couple of those cards here. We have the aha card right here, the hangman, the magician, and the high priestess. So it does look like you're really looking at things much more spiritually minded than on the physical body form. And, you know, when we look at our energy, or we create our life from the upper chakras, that's where we can create our wildest dreams. In the lower chakras, that's where all the survival level is: eat, sleep, having a safe place to stay, things like that. So it does look like you have raised your energy and raised your abundance levels up into the upper chakras, where you can really truly manifest your wildest dreams. So it does look like keep going. Keep going, Gemini, because you're really, really in touch with, you know, the meaning of life, the big picture. So that's what is happening in your general reading, Gemini. And I'm going to throw a couple of these past life cards. This is also a Doreen Virtue, and she's got a couple. These just have one word on them, and they kind of bring it on home. So Native American and Spouse. Wow. A couple other ones got these two exact cards too. So Native American, really getting down to the basics of the world. Simplify your life, honoring the earth, honoring the journey. And Spouse, it does feel like you're cleaning up your heart space. Is your committed relationship getting stronger? Have you let go some of the superfluous things that don't really matter? Or are you ready to open your heart for a new partnership, or releasing a partnership? So these two kind of validate what's going on in your reading. So really get back to the basics with the Native American stuff, and honor yourself, honor your earth, and honor the journey. And Spouse, it does look like your heart is opening up, and you're willing to either open your heart, change the current relationship you have, or release the one that's not working.